Hello, hello, hello. I am Lydia, and that is Sophie, if you can see her. I have a little different camera angle, which I don't know if I'm loving it. You're no longer sitting atop of a nosy bear, so sad day. Anyway, today I just kind of wanted to talk about how right now, by the time I have this uploaded, I probably have more subscribers than I did on my childhood YouTube channel. I had a YouTube channel in 2013. I think I was about 15. And throughout my teens, I uploaded videos to YouTube, and it was a great outlet for me. I loved it. I had so much fun on there. I watched YouTube, so it felt so fun to be a part of that community. Like being a part of YouTube. It just felt like, I don't know, this important thing to me. Even though I was just sort of making videos that were silly or fun, or I really did it all. I don't know. I did some skits. I did some videos where I was just talking about whatever I wanted to talk about. I did some vlogs. I did it all. But at the time, I think I had about 170 subscribers. And as of right now, today, when I'm filming this, I have 170 exactly. And it might increase. I mean, if it increases even a little bit, it'll be, I think, more than my childhood YouTube channel, and that's really cool. Of course, back then I had a lot of family and friends subscribe to me, but it's kind of cool that this is just people in the wild getting me on their For You page. Somebody said that they got me on their For You page, and I don't know why, but that like kind of not freaked me out, but like, oh my gosh, like I never thought of myself being on somebody else's For You page. I don't know why. In my head, I always imagined myself just sort of being one of those YouTube channels that you just sort of stumble upon. Like you're like typing, you're like searching for something else, and then I pop up and you're like, I guess I'll give it a watch. I don't know why, but in my head, it's like I never thought of like my thumbnail being on somebody's For You page. And I just think that's really neat. Like it's kind of funny. Even though that's how YouTube works, I just really never thought of that happening to me, I guess. I love that. And of course, YouTube has changed a lot within these 11 years. And I have changed a lot within these 11 years, and I kind of wanted to talk about that too. I think maybe one day I'll share what my childhood YouTube channel was, and I think it would be really fun if I figured out how to edit like me watching those videos, because, well, one, I don't edit my videos at all. I just, I film on my phone, and I upload from my phone, and that's it. It's just really simple, but there's something I really am enjoying about how simple it is. Like I don't feel the pressure of this whole to-do, which I think is healthy for me as I'm growing on here and getting used to filming again. But yeah, I mean, I think that would be kind of a fun video to do maybe later on in the future when I figure out how to do that. But as of right now, I'm having a great time on here, and I've changed a great deal since that YouTube channel. As a teenager, I watched a lot of YouTube, and I just loved being a part of that community, the YouTube community, the YouTube space. There was something about that I was so proud of. Even if my videos were kind of silly, and I don't know, but I also really have relaxed in personality over the years, and I think I can feel that within how I'm filming. Because as a kid, I really put a lot of pressure on myself. Like, I wanted to be a YouTuber, and, you know, sure, I would just talk sometimes about something I was interested in, but I was just so much more type A back then, and I mean, you change a lot in your adulthood, right? I mean, like, there's no way I'd be the same as I was then, but it's interesting to think about how I filmed back then, and the energy I had going into filming. It was very much like, I want this point to get across. How do I do this in the best way possible? Which was fun to me. For something about the whole writing things out, or even mentally thinking about how to get things across in this specific way, was interesting to me and fun to me. Whereas now that's not so fun to me. I'm like, okay, all right, I don't need to do all of that. Especially after Toxic Mold, I think it's even a little difficult for me to be so structured with myself. I think I like a little bit more of this relaxed, chill, hang out with me sort of a vibe, you know? Which is awesome. I like that I've changed in this direction. I really do. But it's also really cool to think about how childhood me, or like teenage me, I should say, would have been really excited to know that I have even more subscribers than I did then. And there's something super satisfying about that, like another level of healing my inner child, you know? Like, if I could go back and tell my teenage self that hey, I might have 200 subscribers, or even anything over 170 is like pretty cool, probably, to my teenage self, especially since I had posted for quite a long time, and that's as many subscribers as I got. But I think anything above that I would still be so stoked about. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool that I am fulfilling that childhood goal of mine in a way. And I'm still back in the YouTube space because out of all of the social media platforms, like YouTube the best. It feels like my home base, if that makes sense. Do you guys feel that way about your relationship with social media? Like, some apps just feel like this is my home base. Like, no matter what, like, I'm involved in some way, or I'm like tuned in some way to this app over this app or whatever. I feel like the YouTube space is where it's at, and it's always where it's at for me anyway, even though I will say it's been harder to find channels that I've been interested in. It's weird because I was really into podcasts for a little while, a couple of years, and a lot of those podcasts just ended or slowed down in posting a lot. And so it's been interesting, and it's been kind of like a little bit of a challenge to find channels that I would like to watch consistently. But I do feel like with more people posting more casual sort of videos, showing their personality, and I'm hoping I'll be one in the mix of these many, that I will be able to find more people to subscribe to, because I enjoy videos that are more casual, not so curated. I talked about this in another video a couple days ago. And so I'm hoping that I will be one of them, one of those cool people who just can post and yet say something kind of important. I'm hoping I'm saying something important in my videos. I think I am. And valuable. I think so. But, you know, those are the kind of videos that I'm drawn to, and so I'm trying to make videos that I am also drawn to on YouTube. Which is, I think, important. And I did that too when I was a teenager, but the videos that I watched then were much different than I watch now. The videos that I watched then, oh boy, it's a little cringe looking back on, but I mean, I was also a teenager, right? But I loved all of the popular YouTubers of the time that did like vlogs and stuff. I loved O2L, Our Second Life, the collab channel with all of those like guys that would do like tag videos and stuff. I also loved Joey Graceffa back in the day, and just, oh boy, all of the Brit crew on YouTube, the British YouTubers. There was like a collection of both like British YouTubers who would make like daily vlogs and tag videos and like get ready with me and all this stuff, and I ate it up. I ate it up. It was quite a time on YouTube. So obviously what I've watched has changed quite a bit over the years, and so have I. And I think that's pretty cool. So anyway, thank you if you've subscribed. I'm appreciative. My inner child feels so fulfilled and so happy. Like, my younger self would have been just so happy that I'm still doing YouTube, and even after everything that I've been through, I am doing it. I'm still back at it because I loved doing YouTube so much when I was a teenager that, like, when I was in Toxic Mold all of those years, I wanted so desperately to make YouTube videos. I thought about it for the first like couple of years in Toxic Mold almost every day. Like, I genuinely was like, man, like, when can I start filming videos again? Like, when? Like, will I ever be able to film videos again? Will I ever be able to like be a part of this space and think about a topic that I want to talk about, or think about a concept for video and execute it? There was just something so fun about that to me. And I loved, like, even being able to communicate with people in the comments about a certain topic that I had, you know, talked about in a video or something. I thought that was so fun. And I craved that. And throughout that time, I slowly but surely got sicker with Toxic Mold. And soon it grew into me fighting for my life. And so soon after that, it was like, I don't even know if I'll ever be able to post again. That had gone through my mind frequently. Will I ever be able to even film YouTube videos again? Will I ever be on YouTube? Even though when I was in Toxic Mold, I watched so much YouTube in Toxic Mold. Like, yes, I watched it when I was a teen. It was fun, and I like would watch it after school or whatever. But I also like played games, and like I also was like out in the world and like doing stuff. You know, like I lived a life in my teens. Whereas when I was in Toxic Mold, like this chunk of time, like I was in Toxic Mold for maybe 5 years, but I was like depressed before that. So it was like a good like 6 years of my life where I just was like out of it, like not able to film, disassociated, really sick, out of my mind. Like, that's a big chunk of time. And so when I was in that space, I just really felt like all of my dreams were impossible, as sad as that is. Like, I really was like, I don't think I'll ever be able to post on YouTube again, as dramatic as that sounds, because it was a daily struggle to even get out of toxic mold for our situation. A lot of people do not have as hard of a time getting out of toxic mold. So if you're in toxic mold, don't be alarmed or afraid of that. It would just so happen to be my situation where it was so hard to get out. And it consumed my thoughts getting out, which I've mentioned before, but it just, like, because it was a daily struggle to even look in the mirror. Actually, I didn't look in the mirror or take any photos of myself for 1 year for certain, but it was likely over 1 year straight, just not even looking at myself. Didn't know how I looked, didn't know what would, like, crazy. And that was like maybe in the height of the toxic mold. But anyway, it was pretty insane. And it wasn't until I had started to detox from toxic mold and I started to see hope in getting out and then actually escaping toxic mold. It wasn't until then that the cogs in my brain started to turn a little bit. I was like, maybe I could. Maybe I could do YouTube again. That hope had sparked a little bit in me again of like, maybe. Because like what I was saying, I didn't finish my thought a minute ago, like when I was in toxic mold, I watched YouTube so much more than I had ever watched YouTube before, because that's the only thing I physically, mentally, emotionally, and even spiritually even, like I literally couldn't do anything else but just stare at a screen. And I felt like YouTube, I'm so glad that we had internet over like cable or something, because at least with YouTube, I like felt like I could give myself some semblances of hope, because I could like watch other people like doing things that inspired me at least and made me feel like, wow, the life is still moving out there, life is still breathing out there. And every once in a while when I would have that hope spark up within me about doing YouTube again, one day I would sometimes watch videos about like how to start a YouTube channel, or like even watching other people with that mindset of like, hey, maybe I could do this one day. Like this person is just talking and telling their story. Maybe I could do this one day, maybe. And that stuck with me. All of that stuck with me while I was like feeling like death, like truly. And my dog's stomach, I'm sorry if you could hear that. But that really impacted me and in some ways saved my life, if I'm being quite honest. And so it's so cool to be able to see like how far I've come from that. Like that was me a couple years ago being like, is it gonna be like 10 years before I'm officially healed enough to even film, to even look at a camera? And like, what does life even look like being healed from such a severe illness? And here I am, like filming and on YouTube, and I even have more subscribers than my childhood YouTube channel. I mean, of course, there are more eyes on YouTube today than there ever was in 2013, but there is just something so cool about that. Like, here I am, filming, being a part of the YouTube community and the YouTube space like I loved so much then. And I'm out of toxic mold. And here's something that I haven't thought about in a little while, but when I was fresh out of toxic mold, I told myself this frequently. We are all living in our answered prayers to some degree. We're all living in our answered prayers to some degree. We just have to remind ourselves of that, because I think, at least for me personally, it helps to remind myself of that, because I am constantly, let's move forward. And sometimes I don't even look back to go, wow, these are all the milestones that I have accomplished. Like, these are all the milestones that I didn't even know I would get to, that I am at right now. I'm standing at the doorstep of those milestones that I thought, is this going to take a decade? Is this going to ever happen? I'm there. And so, I mean, in so many ways, I'm sure you are too, right where you were hoping that you would be, and now you are there. I don't keep record enough of the progress that I make, or that I've made since being out of toxic mold. You know, I haven't made that a habit. I really wish I would make it a habit of, like, maybe writing down a list or something, because it's so healthy to look at our progress, whatever hurdle you're in right now, noting the progress as you make it, you know, or even a hurdle that you had 2 years ago and you're like, wow, do I still have that hurdle today? It's kind of crazy. And yeah, so just reaching 170 subscribers, and maybe more by the time this is posted, it just really, like, encouraged me and, like, kind of made me nostalgic in a way. Like, oh my gosh, childhood Lydia would be so stoked. And this is a symbol of healing. So cool. Just thought I'd share that little joy with you guys today. Bye-bye.